This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This recording is by Mark Smith of Simpsonville, South Carolina. Uncle Remus by Joel Chandler Harris. Volume 4. Saying number 10. A Case of Measles. "You've been looking like you were rather under the weather for the past week or two, Uncle Remus," said a gentleman to the old man.
"You'd be sort o' puny too, boss, if you'd 'a' been where I been."
"Where have you been?"
"'Pear to me like everybody done year about that. There ain't no old nigger my age and size that's had no rattlin'er time than I is."
"A kind of picnic?"
"Go 'long, boss. What you spec I'd be doin' sailin' round to dese yer colored picnics? Much more'n I wouldn't make bread by workin' for it, let alone follerin' up a passel of boys and gals all over creation. Boss, ain't you hear about it sure enough?"
"I haven't, really. What was the matter?"
"I got strucken with a sickness, and she hit this old nigger a Joe daughter for sure before she turned him loose."
"What kind of sickness?"
"It looks sort o' curious, boss, but old and steady as I is, I took and cotch the measles."
"Oh, get out! You're trying to get up a sensation."
"It's a natural fact, boss. I declare to gracious if 'tain't. They sort o' come on with a cold like, or leastways that's how I commenced for to suffer. And den her cough got straddled at the cold, one o' dese here coughs what looks like it goes to the foundation. I kep' on lingerin' round sort o' keepin' one eye on the rheumatiz and the udder on the distemper, twell bimeby I begin fer to feel the trestle work give way, and den I jest knowed that I was gwineter git a racket. I slipped into bed one Choosday night, and I never slip out no more for mighty nigh on a month. Next mornin' the measles done kivered me, and den if I didn't git dosted by the old woman like a Chinee, she give me back rations of sassafras tea. I just nat'rally hankered and got hongry after water, and every time I sing out for water I got bilin' hot sassafras tea. It got so that when I wake up in de mornin', the old woman just come along with a kittle of tea and fill me up. They tells me round town that chilluns don't get hurted with the measles, which if they don't, I want to be a baby the next time they hits dis place. All dis yer measles business is brand new to me. In old times, 'fore the war, I ain't hear tell of no 75-year-old nigger grapplin' with no measles. They ain't catchin' no more, is they, boss?"
"Oh, no, I suppose not."
"'Cause if they is, you can jest put my name down with the migration niggers."
End of the saying. Saying number 11. The Emigrants. When Uncle Remus went down to the passenger depot one morning recently, the first sight that caught his eye was an old Negro man, a woman, and 2 children sitting in the shade near the door of the baggage room. One of the children was very young, and the quartet was altogether ragged and forlorn-looking. The sympathies of Uncle Remus were immediately aroused. He approached the group by forced marches, and finally unburdened his curiosity.
"Where's you wanderin' onter, pard?"
The old Negro, who seemed to be rather suspicious, looked at Uncle Remus coolly, and appeared to be considering whether he should make any reply. Finally, however, he stretched himself and said, "We are gwine down to the neighborhoods of Tallapoozy, and we ain't making no fuss about it, neither."
"I disremember," said Uncle Remus thoughtfully, "where Tallapoozy is."
"Oh, it's out there yonder," replied the old man, motioning his head as if it were just beyond the iron gates of the depot. "It's down in Alabama. When we git dar, maybe we'll go on twell we gits to Mississippi."
"Is you got any folks out dar?" inquired Uncle Remus.
"None dat I knows of."
"And you are takin' dis woman and dese chillun out dar where dey don't know nobody? Where's your prowisions?"
eyeing a chest with a rope around it.
"Dem's our bedclothes," the old Negro explained, noticing the glance of Uncle Remus. all de vittles what we got we et 'fore we started." "An' you 'spect for to reach there safe an' sound? Where's your ticket?" "Ain't got none. De man say as how dey'd pass us through. I give a man a $5 bill 'fore I left Jonesboro, an' he said dat settled it." "Let me tell you dis," said Uncle Remus, straightening up indignantly. "You go and rob somebody and git on de chain gang, and let de woman scratch round and make out her livin'. But don't you git on dem cars. Don't you do it. Your best hope is de chain gang. You can make your livin' dar when you can't make it nowheres else. But don't you git on dem cars. If you do, you er gone, nigger. If you ain't got no money fer to walk back wid, you jest better build your nest right here. I'm a talkin' wid the bark on. I done seed these yer Arkansas emigrants come lopin' back, and some of 'em don't have rags enough on 'em fer to hide their nakedness. You leave dat box right where she is, and let the woman take one young one, and you take the udder one, and den you git in the middle of the big road and pull out for the place where you come from. I'm a preachin' now." Those who watched say the quartet didn't take the cars. End of the saying. Saying number 12. As a murderer. Uncle Remus met a police officer recently. "You ain't here talkin' no dead nigger nowhere dis mornin', is you, boss?" asked the old man earnestly. "No," replied the policeman reflectively. "No, I believe not. Have you heard of any?" "'Pears unto me dat I come mighty nigh gittin' some news 'bout dat size, and dat's what I'm a-huntin' fer. Because if dey er found a stray nigger layin' round loose, wid his breff gone, then I want to go home and git my breakfast and put on some clean clothes, and deliver myself up to one of dese yer justices of the peace, and git a fair trial." "Why, have you killed anybody?" "Dat's what I'm inquirin' into now. But I wouldn't be so 'stonished if I ain't laid a nigger out somewheres on the suburbs. Hit's done got so it's agin de law for to bust loose and kill a nigger, ain't it, boss?" "Well, I should say so. You don't mean to tell me that you have killed a colored man, do you?" "I speck I is, boss. I speck I done gone and done it dis time, sho. Hit's been sorter growin' on me, and it come to a head dis mornin', less my name ain't Remus, and dat's what dey been a-callin' me since I was ole enough fer to scratch myself with my left hand." "Well, if you've killed a man, you'll have some fun, sure enough. How was it?" "It was dis way, boss. I was layin' in my bed dis mornin', sorter ruminatin' round, when the fust news I knowed I hear a fuss among the chickens, and den my bristles riz. I done had lots of trouble wid dem chickens, and when I years one of 'em squall, my very shoes come untied. So I sorter riz up and retched for my ole musket, and den I crope outer de back door, and what do you reckon I seed?" "I couldn't say." "I seed de biggest, blackest nigger dat you ever laid eyes on. He shined like de paint on him was fresh. He had done grabbed 4 of my for'ardest pullets. I crope up nigh de door, and hollered and axed him how he was a-gittin' on, and den he broke. And as he broke, I jammed de gun in de small of his back and banged loose. He let out a yell like 40 yaller cats a-courtin', and den he broke. You ain't seed no nigger hump himself like dat nigger. He tore down de well shelter and 4 panels of fence, and de ground looked like one of dese yer harricanes had lit dar and fanned up the yeath." "Why, I thought you killed him." "He bleeds to be dead, boss. Ain't I put de gun right on him? Seemed like I feel him give way when she went off." "Was the gun loaded?" "Dat's what my ole woman say. She had de powder in dar, sho. But I disremember whether I put the buckshot in, and whether I left 'em out. Leastways, I'm going to call on one of dese yer justices. So long, boss." End of the saying.